Hello, this is Alekius, and welcome back to another episode of Ultimate Admiral Dreadnought as the French, as we continue our interwar build-up and refit of the fleet to transmogrify it from a short-ranged fleet into a blue water fleet properly. Mexico wants 2 Tages. For that price, absolutely. With our fleet in mothballs, we are building new ships. Bringing back the Asiatic fleet. Oh, yeah, we are not building new ships yet. All our refit battleships are finished. Let's see, we have a number of ships. We just designed the Spahi to escort our fleets, our transports. So we're going to need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 'Red Sea doesn't count. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 21 escort fleets. So with 21 fleets, if we build 63 destroyers, that'll give us 3 destroyers for every sea zone that we're concerned about. And we'll have to figure out ports for those to go into, which I'm not going to worry about too much. Or am I? Alright, we'll do Danzig. Actually, let's design our destroyer leader. All right, we have... Those get kind of large. The scout cruiser might be our go-to again. Especially with the hull forms of the other cruisers giving a max optimal speed that's well below where we want it. So yeah, we're going to go back to the scout cruiser design. I'm going to shrink it. bring it up to optimal speed, extend its range out. I'll give them some quarters. Of course, shallow draft, narrow beam, as is our theme. We're going to try to make it cheap like we did our destroyers. However, we are going to evaluate whether it's worth it to go for larger. But I think we're going to keep this small. We can sneak this down here and put more on the front deck. Yeah. Let's go with that. Funnel capacity. Two funnels of 1 is not enough. Let's see, that's 9.5 to 11.5, 34 to 58K. Squeeze the funnels in so we can fit a fourth. Be a 4-stacker. We'll keep the turbines. Balanced rudder. Yeah, the auxiliary machinery is a little too much. So is the upgraded shafts. We will use Krupp 3 single bottom. Reinforced bulkheads, anti-flooding, no citadel. We'll use coincidence rangefinder. We want the acoustics. We do want a radio direction finder on these ones. We're going to use depth charges. Where is our ASW? What's our max belt is 2.5. Do an inch fore and aft. We'll do an inch on the deck. It said 1 inch. Well, that's really not that expensive. Superstructure will get an inch. Conning tower will be maxed. Oh wow, that's a lot. So this is intended to fight off other light cruisers and destroyers. That is really big. I don't think we can sneak this down there and keep the structure. I think the foredeck's a little too crowded. We could go down to 5s. We have Mark 3s versus Mark 3s. Oh man, those 5s are still pretty large for this. Can we fit that on the very small barbette? We can. Just can't quite fit it onto that deck. So we're going to go with 6 inch. Let's use a 6 inch on the forward. I'm going to use it on the aft. Thinking about it, a fleet cruiser chasing these guys down is going to do bad things for us. Do we do a unified 4 inch or even a unified 5 inch? 5 inch can do both jobs. So let's do that. Let's squeeze this in. Actually, before we do that, Let's take a look at sticking some torpedo tubes in the middle there. These will be the lighter 18-inch. Bring that in. They will be the fast ones. See about doing super firing turrets on the rear deck. I don't think we have enough room there either. There we have it. We'll just use duals fore and aft. Bring this further back. We bring the torpedo tubes further back. Can we squeeze one? We can. Make it a 5-stacker. That'll help the engine efficiency. 2-inch casemates. See what we can do. Not a terrible thing. The 2-inch or 5-inch turrets, dual turrets, are a bit big. The deck tubes are harder to fit there. Can I sneak side-mounted torpedo tubes? No? You know what? I'm fine with that. Let's just add another funnel. We'll shorten up the rear deck. Let's deal with some of the aft weight offset. I don't think we're going to be able to fit any more turrets, not a 5-inch. Three-inch, probably ill-advised to stick those anywhere. So we have 2, 4, 5, 6, 7 barrels facing each side. That's a lot, and they're 5-inch, so if they hit a destroyer, it's gonna mess them up. If we're fighting another cruiser, I think we'll do okay. Use standard ratio main shells, max HE for the secondaries, which will be these casemates. Do we do full capped ballistic? We could potentially run into heavy cruisers, which are going to be way better at gunnery than us. So do we even bother? We go something more semi-ballistic. Good chance to penetrate. Still does plenty of damage. That'll penetrate our own armor at very short range. Standard, we start to get ricochet angles. Let's stick with the semi-ballistic. Light shells. We can still mostly penetrate our own armor, except at very short ranges. Standard shells. That is 11 rounds a second. 270 rounds. We'll go ahead and increase. 2 powder TNT. That'll reduce our flash fire chance. And now we're looking at slightly better penetration, less damage, decent range. We want our 2 inches to be maximum length. So we get them out as far as we can reach. Not too bad, actually. 10 rounds a minute. For the 5-inch, do we want to lengthen these? I don't want to go too far. We want to keep these rapid firing guns. Reload time's 12 seconds, 5 rounds a minute. If we go back down to 270, that's 10 rounds every 2 minutes. Okay. We even beef these up slightly. That gets us out to 10 kilometers, but it drops our rate of fire down to 3 a minute. Which I'm a little concerned about their ability to handle destroyers. I may split the battery, drop these down to 3 or 4 inch. For close in work, and these to reach out and touch other cruisers. We've got decent penetration with that, decent damage. The rate of fire is only 2.5 rounds a minute. 4 for the singles. If we were to drop this to 4 inch, do dual barrels. Cannot fit dual barrels on there. Just get it there. Yeah, it just doesn't quite fit. I don't see any other places we could put them. If we do 4s, they'll reach out to 6 kilometers, fire at 10 rounds a minute. Fits our split battery that we've been doing. And if we're going to do that, I can beef these up to 6 inch. Maybe make these back to 5s and make them short barreled. So we do that, we have long barreled 6s. That's a bit more penetration, closer to what we want. 3 rounds a minute, 10 kilometer range. And then we have 6 rounds a minute. If we shorten those, brings them down to 7 kilometers. Still has the ability to penetrate. 6 rounds a minute. What if we do 0.5 on the 6s? Make those a little bit bigger. Shorten the barrels a little bit. A little bit less rounds per minute. Nope, I think I liked them as 6s better. Three rounds a minute, still 10 kilometers. The extra penetration I don't think we need. If we're running up against anything like that, we need to leave. We will go with max armor on those. We'll use 2-inch armor on the 5s. 2-inch tops for the main turrets. The 2.9-inch guns, we'll use 2-inch, 1-inch. Standard reloading to keep things cost containment. Although I wouldn't mind, oh man, that adds so much. Like, engines really are the biggest expense. Don't get a whole lot out of bringing up the boilers. We could subtract some of the funnels though if we were to do that. What if we were to say use forced, delete the middle 2 funnels, delete those. Nope, can't fit those. We could put a dual turret in the middle. Or even on the sides. Do 3 turrets instead. 5-inch. Ooh, that's terrible. Yeah, it just doesn't like them there. Can we fit? Nah, there's not enough room up there. So we'll do the 3 forward funnels. We separate them out and do something. No, not quite. That won't work. Can we use barbette to achieve this? Like, I think that's too small, barbette. Put it kind of right there. I don't think we could. Oh, wow, that fits. That should not fit. It's a little awkward. Maybe we leave the single barrel. We just elevate this one. That is so awkward. Put a 4th funnel on there. How much does that hurt its sweep? That's still decent. Do you remember our 5-inch settings? It did not. I think we were at minus 5%. We'd even beef it up to like a 5.5 and drop it down. Oh, that's too short. That gets us a heavier round that we can fire fast enough. What I'm trying to achieve with that. Nah, I kind of like the minus 5% length. Leave it small, we'll keep the fast firing from that. Round every 9 seconds. That is funky. It's got charm. We do get a decent amount of range out of that. Cost is not terrible. We add millions for every half knot of speed. We could get up to 32.5 probably. But that brings us from 30.5 million to almost 38 million. And we'll be making 21 of these. At a maintenance cost of almost $1 million a month. Keep it down at 30.5, 700,000 a month. Yeah, let's go with the spacious quarters, forced boilers. And this will be our destroyer leader. Awkward though she may be. Wow, that is something else. The Sarkouf. She has charm. That's what I'm going with. I'm going to stick with it. So we'll build 21 of those. That'll keep our shipyards busy for a while. I mean, they're not that big. First group we want is in Danzig. Kiel is not in Eastern Germany. That is weird. Game logic, the way the province is drawn, it is, but that's just weird seeing that. Danzig, there we go. Now we need a port in the North Sea. Wilhelmshaven has been the one for the subs. We'll go ahead and stick our escort fleets there as well. That should be way up here in Western Germany. There it is. And we are looking at Bay of Biscay. And then the North Atlantic. Let's use La Coruña for both. So we'll do both together here. This will be 6 destroyers, 2 cruisers. In Western Spain. La Coruña. Then we do need... Nope, we do not need Eastern North America. We just need the Caribbean. Look at the size of these ports. I am inclined to use San Juan. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Then we'll have Central Atlantic. Go with Dakar and Senegal. West Africa, let's go with stick them with the coastal subs, so in Libreville. There we go. West Indian Ocean. Moroni's a little bit too small. St. Denis is better. St. Denis it is. Red Sea we don't need to bother with, shockingly. But we do need to do the Arabian Sea, which Djibouti is our closest bet. Right there. Hopefully that's not too much tonnage there. Bay of Bengal we don't have to worry about. East Indian Ocean we don't have to worry about. Southeast Asia we do. I think Saigon is our go-to. There we are. West Philippines is in Southeast Asia, so we don't need to worry about that separately. Caroline Islands sits in Northern Oceania. We have Chuuk, Peleliu, and Ponape. Looks like Ponape is our choice. There we go. Almost at the bottom. Philippine Sea, nothing. East Asia. Keelung is the obvious choice. Sea of Japan, we have Vladivostok. Oh, I didn't need to go back to the bottom. There we go. Sea of Okhotsk. We have choices. I think I'm going to put them at Magadan. Did not see it. Like we have Sakhalin. It's in the same area. Eastern Siberia, Providenia. You know what? We'll stick them in the Sakhalin Islands then. Moskalo. I'll put it there. It's close enough. Then we have the South Pacific. For which we have Hakahau and Papeete. And Providenia, which I believe is up further on the list. Eastern Siberia. That should take care of much of the blue water. And we need to get the Western Med, which... let's go with Bizerte in Tunis. Central Med. We'll do Tunis. Or we can do Bizerte again. Bizerte is big enough, so we'll go ahead and do that. Keep them all centralized there. Eastern Med, we don't need anything. Adriatic, we don't need anything. English Channel, we actually do need something. So we'll be putting more into another set. Don't need the Irish Sea. We already took care of the North Sea. We did Wilhelmshaven. We don't have to worry about the Arctic, so we have a few extras. Probably counted one of the smaller seas. Because we have hit all of these that we actually have port capacity upon. So, in anticipation of future ops, I'll stick the rest into let's go with Nice. There'll be 2 groups that go there. And that'll take care of all of the new build. Now, the only suggestion I've received thus far is to go poke the Austro-Hungarian Empire in the eye. So I am willing to oblige and do so. Koreans want another Palestro. They're willing to pay for it. Politics. Austro-Hungarians increase tensions. Still have a positive monthly balance, which is very refreshing to see. I was hoping to get our Asiatic fleet here by the end of this episode, but I'm doubting that right now unless I run long. There's our triple bottom that we saw in last episode was coming up, as well as the Mine Layer Submarine 1, so we have dedicated to replace our other ones with. Oh, they ignored us. That's alright, we have oodles of prestige to waste on these endeavors. Financially, we're doing well. We are using a lot of shipbuilding capacity right now. We've almost maxed out our transport capacity. We're actually doing really well on the amount of, like, our finances are doing great. If we look, our growth should be, yep, double digits now. 1% a month. And just a few months ago, we were at 16 million naval budget. So a couple things have factored into that behind the scenes. Everything else is, the Army Force is shockingly small, given the amount of money being spent. We might very well have the smallest army. Maybe that's because we've been at war so much, so they're depleted. Could also be because everybody else is at war and we're at peace, so their armies are inflated. That appears like that might be a major factor. things we haven't done yet. We want our fleet escort, which could actually be those scout cruisers that we built. I don't see that they're a bad choice. I would like to get a heavy cruiser down, but the hulls that we have are very slow, and that's not going to work out. But we could design our first battle cruiser, or is this the second one? I don't rightly remember. But I would like to get a battle cruiser laid down and get started building it. Of course, it's going to be narrow beamed, shallow draft. We want as much spare crew on board as we can. We want it to be long range. This has an optimum of 28.5. I want to keep it small and fast. Although with the machinery required to get up to speed... No, we'll keep it small. This is a very big tower. Or we could stick the advanced tower on there and use the extra barbette that we get from that. So we can stick a turret there and there. This one gives a slot for the funnel. That's the trade-off. Rear tower, we can make it ultra small. Or we can make it big and sacrifice the capability to put the X turret up here and instead do a super firing solution back there. We have no room for a funnel like this though. Starting to reconsider our micro battle cruiser. What are we looking at for base accuracy? We do want very good accuracy, so we'll swap to the larger forward tower. Max size funnel, which is quite significant actually, and is efficient. From the looks of it, it is efficient use of money and weight. So yeah, let's do that. You can get 2 funnels. I'm going to use triples. Let's do... We're trying to keep this small. So let's do 14-inch. And see where that leaves us. I'm going to switch to semi-oil. That'll save us a bit. We want geared turbines. We want our good auxiliaries. Balanced rudder. Hydraulic steering. Electric still has flaws. Crop 3 armor. Trying to avoid flaws. No anti-torp. We will use triple bottom. Hull, we will add our damage control best citadel we can get, which is going to have flaws. Or we could switch back to Citadel 2 to go without flaws. We're going to do that. We are trying cost containment. We went crazy with our refits, so I'm trying to dial it back a little bit for our non-refits. That is a lot of penetration for an HE shell. You're going to get over penetrations against small targets. That's more reasonable. Can take out well-armored light cruisers. And then go with max penetration AP rounds. Light shells. want as many rounds as we can. Tube, TNT. Okay. Enhance the reloading. Do we want the hydraulic powered turrets? Yes. We want to do that. I'm going to go with stereoscopic. The acoustics. Yes. Radio direction finding. I'm going to keep the belt strong. I'm going to keep the deck strong. How much deck? Oh man, we can go through a lot of deck with these shells. A lot of deck. Two-inch everywhere else. It's a lot, I know. We do have a lot of forward weight, so we could slide this back. It's going to be a lot of extra weight, and use a barbette. So that would be double rear barbette. That'll give us 9 barrels. And also puts us very overweight. We could also go down to 12-inch guns. Or make these short barreled. That gets us almost 1 round per minute. Drops our range down to 24 kilometers, which we're not going to have very good accuracy for. Keeping a look at the accuracy at 10 kilometers, we have 4.8. 15, we have 2.3. We chop down the barrels a little bit more. 10, we have 4.2, and at 15, we have 2. And they only reach out to 20 kilometers. Now we do get a malus to our rate of fire and accuracy because these are triples. If we were to ditch that and go down to dual barreled, so 10 kilometers 4.2, 10 kilometers 5.3, and we're up above our 1 1/3 rounds per minute, 45-second reload rate. We get to keep our 6 barrels. And we get to come in underweight. I'm going to crowd the rear turrets. Keep the citadel a little bit smaller. Those sweeps for the turrets are not bad at all. Alright, we have not done our casemates yet. Can we fit any additional ones? Doesn't look like it. Good, because I don't like 2-inch. We long barrel those. We get out to 8 kilometers. Still 12 rounds per minute, which is plenty. I actually think those are okay. It's better than I'm used to. Secondary wise, for taking on light cruisers, I'm actually thinking 5-inch singles. Yeah, because the doubles are going to struggle. I'm going to fit a couple of these alongside. And a battery that does not interfere with firing angles. That's 4 barrels a side. Add a little bit of length to our 5-inch. Those AP rounds are good. 6 rounds a minute. $10 kilometers with the AP rounds. All right, that's looking pretty good actually. I'm really liking this. Naturally breathing boilers. It looks like we can add quite a bit of speed. Just looking at the cost, that's an extra 30 million. So we can get up to 32 pretty easily. We're a bit unbalanced forward, so we can do our trick from before where we're adding weight to the aft deck to protect the steering gear. There, like that. So the front and the back are weak on the belt. The rear deck still isn't terribly strong. She has very good range, good speed, good efficiency. She's maneuverable, reasonably balanced. I like it. The only thing we could maybe do is add torpedoes, but I don't really want that weakness on the ship. If we had deck torpedoes, I'd think about it. So there we go. What is this? Thetis. Or Thetis, because of the accent. So we'll lay down 2 to 4 of those, I think. And then we'll call it an episode. Alright, we look at our Thetis. That is 20,000 tons. We have plenty of space in there right now. I'm going to go ahead and build us 4 of these. We'll use up a good chunk of our finances, but we still have plenty to go. I think I'm going to place them down in Marseille. With the new builds in Marseille. And that leaves us with 30 million positive income. More to come as we get our transport capacity up to max. And with that, I'm going to call this episode to a close. So, I appreciate you staying to the end. Hope you enjoyed as much as I did. Please leave a comment. Let me know what you think. And I will see you all next time. Take care, everyone.